Hello everyone, I'm Roshni Sawan from Department of English, Yashwantrao Sawan Institute of Science, Satara. Today I'm going to talk about the poem Butterfly written by Arun Kolatkar. Before going to the poem, first of all I will talk about Arun Kolatkar. Arun Kolatkar is major Indian poet. He is a modern poet and all modern poets of India reflect the theme of alienation, materialism, theme of isolation through their works, anxiety through their works, and Arun Kolatkar is also one of them. He is most important and influential poets in one of the most important and influential poets in the post-independent Indian poetry. He has written his work in Marathi as well as in English language. For his work Jezuri, he got Commonwealth Prize in 1977. He got Sahitya Akademi Award in 2004 for his work B.Sc.III. In Jezuri, he writes about his various observations about the things he comes across in his visit to Jezuri. Jezuri is not written in the praise of God Khandoba. It is written in the praise of Jezuri is not written in the praise of Lord Khandoba, but he is just talking about the materialism in the world. He is talking about the problems in the world through this poem. The Butterfly is one of the poems of Arun Kolatkar published in the collection of poems Jezuri. So now we will go to the poem Butterfly. It is a very short poem, but it gives the big message or a very important idea of life to us. It tells the significance of life to us. Poet says there is no story behind it. It's a little yellow butterfly. He says behind butterfly there is no story. It has taken these wretched hills under its wings. Here poet compares wretched hills to Jezuri. He says that butterfly is more significant, butterfly is having more power than those wretched hills of Jezuri where the Lord lies, where the Lord lives. It is just a pinch of yellow. It has the yellow color, and this yellow color he compares with the yellow turmeric powder which disciples of Lord Khandoba use, and that yellow powder the way gives happiness to them, gives confidence to them. In the same way this butterfly gives happiness, confidence. It is a symbol of positivity, it is a symbol of happiness, and in the same way it gives happiness to others. Whenever we see butterfly we feel happy, and when we remember butterfly, when the image butterfly comes in a mind, that time we feel happy, we feel joy, we feel peace. Even writers, poets, they are also not away from the appreciation of butterfly. Many poets have written poems on it, and children love to see butterfly. So what it symbolizes, it is the symbol of happiness, it is the symbol of positivity. But how is the life of butterfly? That is poet talking about here. He says it has no story, means it has no past. It has no culture behind it as the human mankind or human generation is having. It doesn't have any culture behind it. Again, it opens before it closes. It closes before it opens, means how it is. Poet is saying that how it develops, how it is its life, that it is of just a second or it is of just few moments that it has to live. And Even then, though it is so tiny, though it is so little, it takes those wretched hills, those big hills under its wings. Means butterfly is happier, butterfly is more joyful than the any other thing in the world. So are we not missing the real joy of life? Are we not missing the real happiness of life? That is what the poet talking about. It is split like a second. Poet says it is split like a second. So short life it is having, and it hinges around itself. It doesn't have anybody to with whom it may have connection. As we have connection to our family, as we have connection with all our colleagues, we have connection with our friends, but it doesn't have any friend. It doesn't have any relative. It doesn't have any background or foreground. It lives with itself, and it lives for itself. So now poet says what kind of life we are living. As if we are connected with each other, are we happy? And he compares the life of butterfly with life of man, and he says that if it doesn't have any connection and still it is happy, then are we happy with all those connections with our relatives, with the people who are in our life? Poet says there is no future. It doesn't have any future. Means butterfly, this creature, doesn't have any future, and still it lives the life happily. And we live life longer than butterfly, but we don't live in happiness. That is the parody, and ironically poet talks about the problems, talks about the reality of human life, that man, though having longer life, though having so many facilities, though having all the happiness of life, is not living life with the happiness. It spends life in quarrels, in fightings, in agonies, in problems, in negative thoughts, rather than looking positivity in the life. Again, poet says it is pinned down to no past. As in the beginning he has said, it has no story behind it. That means it has no past. It has no story behind it. As we all have our story, it has no identity, it has no existence in the world as we all have, and it's a pun on the present. It's a pun on the present. Poet calls it the pun on the present. It means it is a pun on the present generation of man. It is a pun on the present life of the man. And he says, where is it? What kind of existence it is having? What kind of existence it is having? The existence which is so little time, and it stays for such a short time, but it gives happiness to all, it gives pleasure to all. But do we give happiness to others, or are we happy or peaceful inside? That is the message that poet wants to give through this poem. And through this poem he gives the importance of life. He talks about the importance of positivity in life through such a short lived creature. So now we will go through the themes of this poem. In the introduction, I have talked about when the poem has published. It was published in 1976 to 1977 period in the collection of poems Jesury. It is the irony on present generation. This poem is irony on present generation. Means ironically he talks about, indirectly he talks about the life of man. It also shows the beautiful picture of life of butterfly. It is a satire on a human life, as it is satirically talks about the human life which is so long, so developed, but not happy. Again, the poem also shows essence of present and true worth of life. Poet shows how the present is important. We people live in the future, we people plan for the future, and we spoil our present. We don't live the little moments of the present. So, again, he is talking about the essence of life, and he is also talking about the true worth of life. These are the certain themes of poem Butterfly. Life, sheer existence, and joy of existence. Contrast between present and past. Exploration of myth, history, and ethos of the place. Exploration of baffling complexities of great metropolis. And search for belonging. Agonies of belonging. And this poem also shows the theme of contradiction between nature of mythology and nature. Here, wretched hills of Jezuri represents mythology. They are related with myth, and as it has a historical story behind it, they are related with the myth. But the butterfly doesn't have any myth behind it. It doesn't have any uh, story behind it. So, the poem shows the contrast between myth and nature. Again, it shows the importance of sheer existence. In what thing we find the real or sheer existence of life. It is also the example of joy of existence, where we don't feel the joy of existence, but the butterfly feels that joy. It also shows, the poem Butterfly also shows the contrast between present and past. It explores the myth, history, and ethos of the place. Again, indirectly, poet talks about the baffling complexities of metropolis, because urban the people who are living in the urban life, they are missing the real happiness, real truth of life, and the real essence of life. They are just living the robotic or the mechanical life, where they have lost connection with the nature, and the same connection poet wants to us to remember. He wants us to think on our connection with the nature. He wants us to think about our existence. He wants us to think about the uh, complete value, the significance of life. So, thank you very much. I have talked about the poem Butterfly. I also thank Department of English and Dr. Manisha Patel, ma'am, HOD of Department of English, for giving me opportunity to present here. Thank you very much.